Hey, it's July the 30th, 2015, and this video right here is a continuation of the series entitled Message to a Friend. Alright, and may very well be the last one. Alright, I would have to venture to say that it is the most important. However, there could be subsequent videos if I do get the inspiration to make them. But I do have to stress that, in my opinion, this will probably be the most important one. Let me start off by saying that this is not something that you're going to want to hear. And in my experience, lessons, the most important lessons to be learned, and the good majority of the lessons in this series of videos are comprised of words that you do not want to hear. They're difficult to hear. But that's the very nature of important lessons. And so I'm going to continue. Last night, um, we had a series of messages back and forth on Facebook. And they were pretty typical, stereotypical. We've had the same exact conversation dozens of times in our experience together. And me personally, I'm not really a fan of repetitiveness, to be honest with you. I get very frustrated, just like most people, men in particular, get very frustrated at the repetitive nature of this type of conversation. Um, Inevitably, it came down to, oh, you're lonely. You hate your job. You hate that you're lonely. You hate yourself. Uh, you're empty inside, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then, subsequently, like I said, man, that's the thing. Some people love to be lied to. In fact, most people love to be lied to, and most of those people who love to be lied to they're actually going to tell you that they hate being lied to. Which is ironic, but more accurately, it's pathetic and disturbing. Because the thing is, you got to understand that you love being lied to, except you don't understand it. I don't understand why you even say that statement, except to give people the impression that you hate being lied to when in fact you love it. On me personally, I mean, I lie from time to time. I'm imperfect, um, but I find it very, very hard that if I care anything about you at all, you gotta know that certain strangers. I mean, I care for strangers in a certain way, but people who I know, I care for them in a different way. And if I care for you in that sort of respect, then I find it extremely difficult to lie to you, even if I know that you love being lied to. And you can call me a jerk, a lot of people do. You call me whatever you want, but I find it very difficult and sometimes impossible. And I'll let you know, I cannot lie. Not to you. I just can't do it. So if that's what you're looking for, then I just can't. I have to look for it somewhere else. Um, so you kept going into the fact that you're lonely. To which I tried to remind you, well, first of all, I'm talking to you. So unless I'm a figment of your imagination, you really shouldn't feel that way very much because a lot of people do not even have people to talk to. And those people rightfully should feel lonely because nobody even wants to talk to them, i.e. Sandra Bland. They'll leave you in jail and fuck you, whatever. Just get over it. Um, but also, I had to remind her that we are all born as individuals, and so inevitably, it's human nature to feel lonely from time to time. And so you got to recognize that there's nothing special about you in that respect because everybody feels lonely from time to time. And once you begin to recognize that, you also start to see that there's no reason to feel lonely because the good majority of people feel exactly the same way you do from time to time, or even right now, perhaps. So you are in part of a collective. So that should make you feel less lonely. Um, but I started to go into and I did start to get resistance when I began to talk to you about the fact that your loneliness is caused by a void that you feel inside you, to which you pretty much agree. Um, but where the confusion sets in is that you think loneliness causes the void, um, and so therefore loneliness is the problem that you have to tackle. When in fact, no, that's not the case. The void is what causes the loneliness, and when you figure that out, then you start to see, well, how to solve the problem. All right, there's a void, and that causes the loneliness. So to fix the loneliness by filling the void with something, with a man, with chocolates, with whatever, cigarettes, whatever, not going to fix the problem really. You're just going to put a band-aid over it. That's why I suggested instead of filling the void, if you're really trying to fix the problem, what you would do is you would figure out um, what caused the void. All right, and like I say, people lots of times they don't want to hear certain things. A lot of times maybe they'll hear what I had to say, and maybe it'll only click later. So this is why I'm making the video. I don't expect you to understand or accept what I'm saying today, but I understand that you'll probably hear it and it'll probably click at one point in time. And this is why I made the video. Um, this is a problem that you can only really fix yourself. And you can try to fill the void with men, hope that that brings about your happiness. But you got to understand that if this man has a lick of sense or self-preservation in his nature at all, eventually he's going to realize that there's a void here and it needs to be filled. And also, or I mean, not only does it need to be filled, but you have to realize what it is that's causing the void. Because even if you fill it with a man, you're going to realize at one point that you're going to get tired of this man. Because the thing is, you don't love this man the same way that he loves you, as I covered in a previous video. Y'all's loves are different. So if you fill the void with a man, eventually you're going to realize that he does not fill the void, and there's still a void. It's a temporary solution. And he realizes about you, even if it's not conscious, it's subconscious. He realizes there's a problem that he cannot fix. And either he could try to lie and lie and lie to you, which is very hard. I mean, lying is a lot harder than truth in the way that you have to remember everything. You have to remember all these lies even though they're not really reality. And so at one point he realizes, man, I can't remember all these lies. And this is just more difficult than I can take. And at that point, that it doesn't matter how good looking you are. It doesn't matter how much fun y'all have. It doesn't matter, you know, how good the sex is, because honestly, sex is everywhere. It's easy to find. It's not hard to find. Trust me, if you're trying to keep a guy with sex, please believe it's not going to work these days. It's not going to work because sex is everywhere. It's easy to get. Um, So he realizes this and he runs away. And this is where you're like, oh man, why'd you run away? Oh my God, I got to fill the void again. It's an endless cycle. The reason he ran away is because there's a problem that is too big for him to fix. It all comes back to um, what causes the void. Now, I don't like to be too pushy. I like to lead people to uh, where their problem is so that they can fix it themselves. Which is, in a way, that's how I like to be treated. I want you to lead me to a problem so that I can fix it myself. I don't want you to tell me how to fix it because you might not know exactly. But if you lead me to it, that's a great help to me. This is what I tried to do. But at this point, I'm going to have to nudge you a little bit further and tell you something that you really, really don't want to hear. That you've been avoiding like the plague pretty much your whole life. The cause to the void that you have is a lack of God. You don't believe in God. No, you don't want to hear this. That's the truth. You don't believe in God. You certainly don't believe in Jesus or a higher power at all. You believe that you're floating around randomly, and that's actually not the case. This is the reason why you don't feel like you have a purpose. This is the reason that you feel empty inside. This is the cause to the void in which you cannot fill. A lot of people have different ways of trying to find God, whatever. A lot of people go to church. I don't. A lot of people more read the Bible. Here's the thing: I would definitely recommend the Bible over going to a damn church. Um, and then there's some certain people who have read the Bible and know everything that's in the Bible, and yet they choose to follow their spirit and the Holy Ghost, basically, and they don't even really vouch for the Bible all the way. They just really vouch in their own faith and their Holy Ghost. They follow that. I would recommend that over anything. Of course, those people usually have read the Bible and understand all the different stories in it. So the thing is to skip past the Bible and say, I don't really need it at all. I don't want to read anything about it. But I can make it without it. It's usually not the case, man. You really do have to read it, even if that's not in your heart. You read it as a reference point to further understand what it is, how to get to God, how to embrace God, because only God is going to fill that void. Nothing else is going to fill that void. You can try to fill it with drugs or anything else, man. Chocolate, cigarettes, anything. It's not going to work. You're going to continue to feel empty inside. It's only when you realize that not only is there a God, but that God designed you. Not only did he design you specifically as an individual, but he did so immaculately. He did so miraculously. He designed your body and your mind and your soul for specific purposes. Crazy, intricate, amazing purposes. And when you realize that not only is there a God, but he made you in such an immaculate way, it becomes pretty impossible to feel empty inside. It almost becomes impossible to truly ever feel lonely or without a purpose. Thing is, you gotta go out. You gotta find him. I can't give him to you. I'm gonna end it like this: Jesus will never chase you down. All right. In the same regard, I don't go around chasing people down, trying to stuff Jesus down their face. It's not the nature of Jesus. Now, I do believe in people speaking the word of God and going out there and being street preachers and using bullhorns. I do like that. But understand that Jesus will never chase you. God will never chase you. But he will wait for you forever. Once you get the nerve to seek him out and find him, you'll realize that void is pretty easy to fill. Your loneliness, it will be gone. And you will find whatever man that you seek. You'll find him very easily. You'll find him like this. Solve a lot of your problems. But until then, you're going to continue to have these problems forever. This is July 30th, 2015.